IT Hero Podcast Show. Welcome back. We are on episode 3, and in this show, we're talking about network security, a crucial part in the enterprise architecture. We talked about a lot of interesting concepts, DNS attack, how do you secure your network, and we also talked about some real time issues that had happened in the recent days. And we also talked about the career opportunities in network security. And this person who is we're going to talk to on this show is one of my ex-colleague and amazing personality. So let's go ahead and jump right in, sit back and enjoy. Hello everyone, welcome to our third episode for our IT Hero podcast. And today we are going into a very technical topic. And today we have someone really special, and she's going to be talking more about network security in specific, who started her career as a network engineer back in 2016 and also worked as an assistant manager and right now as a technical specialist for Inflobox. And I am so excited to welcome Abhirami on the call. Hey, Abhi.
Hi.
Thanks for joining. And I hope you're doing well. Let us know quickly what is your background. Although I described you in introduction, I'd like to hear from your side.
Sure, definitely. Hope everyone are safe here. So I'm Abhirami and I started my career in IT industry as a network engineer, majorly focusing on the wireless networking. Then I moved towards virtual network, which is where VMware. Then I had some interest in development, so changed the path to development. And my long time dream was to focus and learn about network security. So that is why I'm here now. So I'm working as a technical success specialist in Infoblox, which majorly focuses on network security. Uh, when I say network security, in the sense of it majorly focuses on the DNS security. So that's where I'm currently working now.
Nice. That's a nice transition from where you started and where you are today. And I wish you all the best also for your future.
Thank you.
Right. Now, quickly, let us know network security. What is it and why does it really matter for someone?
Yes, network security is really important for every organization. So let me give you one real-time example. So we do all live in our house, right?
Yeah.
And we allow people only whom we know, whom
Yeah.
we doesn't know or who are very new to us. We always inquire about them, and then we allow them inside. So that is how it is. So we cannot allow any third party or any other intruders in our organization network, because those who, if we allow the people whom we don't know, we are not sure what cause they are going to bring for us, right? So that's
Yeah.
very important, why we need to protect our network. So our house, I mean, we'll not have that much, but take it as an organization or enterprise level, they do have a lot of data which has to be very confidential, and which should not be leaked or known by someone else. So in that case, network security, data theft, and there are a lot of things, even ransomware attacks are predominant nowadays. So it's very important to safeguard our network. And I think majority of the organizations majorly spend their lot of profit or any amount in focusing on the network security nowadays. So it's very important for each organization to focus on network security. Majorly, I would say on DNS, because DNS security is very important. As I just read one of the article where I read around 90% of the malware attacks or any type of threats are because of DNS. So DNS security plays a major role in all the organization, which has to be taken care of.
Wow. That's an interesting number. 90% is due to DNS attack. So,
Yeah, it
uh,
was released by US,
uh-huh.
one of the major company, one of the who does a background work on the statistics. They released that 90% of the attacks are because of DNS.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So,
Yeah.
can we double click on this particular point, DNS attack? How does it work in the technical point of view?
Yes, when we say DNS, so So right from everyone, right from a small kid to the elderly people, we use mobile phones, we use laptops in our day-to-day life. So the only thing everyone knows is, in case if they don't know anything, directly they go to Google, search for any site they want to learn about or which domain it may be. So in that case, DNS plays a very major important role. So when you go ahead and type, say example, Wikipedia. So
Yeah.
what exactly happens in the background is it converts Wikipedia, www.wikipedia.com, into an IP addresses, and it contacts our mobile phone also has an IP address. So majorly all the devices communicates through the IP addresses, and that's where DNS comes into picture. So the main role of DNS is to convert or translate the domain, the uh, say Wikipedia.com into IP addresses. So everyone uses IP addresses. Everyone uses DNS for each and every minute thing in our life. So
Yeah. Yeah.
protecting it would be a very important step in our day-to-day life, if we say. And when we say DNS, it's a open protocol. So as I said, everyone uses DNS nowadays, and it's a majorly used protocol. So what exactly happens is it's very easy and it's being an open protocol. So no one is going to block DNS because all the traffic from the enterprise network to the home network uses DNS. So in that case, it's very easy for the attackers and the malwares to get into the network using DNS. So DNS basically has this when we get into too technical part, there is a packet and amount of data through which you can send data through DNS. So in that
Yeah.
case, DNS, it's called data exfiltration or infiltration, where it sends the unauthorized data to and from the network. So that is how DNS is being exploited by the attackers.
Oh, okay. Have you dealt any such attack recently? If you'd like to share any experience, what are the tools that you use to, analyze, and how do you secure the environment from DNS attack?
Yeah, when we say when I've gone through, yeah, I've played around with many tools where I can create the data exfiltration. Uh, there are many tools available in the market as well. How to work with data exfiltration? How does it exactly happen?
Uh-huh.
How does the data which you type in gets, and so what exactly happens is you type in, say you're entering your credit card information, and what happens, that credit card information is being encoded,
Yeah.
and then it is getting assembled in the by the attacker. So that
Okay.
is what is exactly happening. So that is how data exfiltration works, and there are many tools which we can generate, they can play around with.
Hmm.
I recently searched a couple of tools where we could play around with, like data exfiltration tools. So it's really nice to explore and learn more about it.
Nice. Okay. I really learned a lot about DNS attack, and the numbers again are really surprising that DNS can be the easy way to attack, or I think that's a vulnerable place for enterprise, right? Yeah,
Yes.
got it. Thank you for that, Avi. Let's move on to more about network security in a broader perspective. Tell us, what are the types of network security in general?
When I say network security, you can ask about tools and devices to which comes under network security, or we can talk about network security attacks as well. First, let me talk about attacks. There are two types of attacks broadly which are classified. They are passive attacks and active. Passive is something, so someone is monitoring your system. That is
Yeah.
passive attack. They do not cause any damage to your system. Whereas active attacks are something, they do tampering, they do unauthorized access and send their data towards the target system. So these are two types of attacks. When you say types of network security, there are many, like you tools and like next generation firewalls, where there are enhanced firewalls which has been developed nowadays. There are email security, wireless security type, and a lot more. I mean, right from our end devices also we do have security
Yeah.
nowadays. So one interesting fact which I would like to share, recently I've gone through one of the article where one of the company in US, which is Colonial Pipeline, which majorly deals with the fuels and
Okay.
and that kind of thing. It was attacked by DarkSide, one of the gang of attackers. So what they exactly did was so the company used a VPN software which
Okay.
didn't have a multi-factor authentication. So nowadays we do have a VPN software where it has multi-factor. We
Yeah.
enter a password as well as our security code, which each organization has their own way to do. So what happened was Colonial Pipeline has just only one authentication, and attacker was able to get hold of that password, and he made some changes, and the company came down and they shut their whole uh, network, and and I mean eventually there was a huge loss and price hike in gases. So I mean, network security is one such part, one real time example where every organization has to focus on, I would say.
Oh yeah. Wow. So the attack has lead to increase in price of petrol. That's something that
Yeah.
affects your real life. Yeah, that's a very interesting case study. And I think it costs around 4 million. I think that's a huge loss for any company.
Yes.
So yeah, that shows how important is network security in the environment. Now, I am curious to know about passive attacks. What's the benefit the attackers get out of passive attacks?
Passive attacks is, I mean, they can do anything out of passive attack. They can, once they monitor their system, they will get to know what type of company as it is, what are they dealing with, and in any point of time it can turn into active attack as well. That's the reason first they observe. So whatever we do in real time, if we do observe thing and then do take the next plan of action, right? So in
Yeah.
that case, that is how passive attacks will also help. They do monitor your system first and then explore and exploit on how to take the next step of action.
Oh, so it's like the before the attack, they do a passive observation of everything and then they take the attack. Okay. Understood. Okay. Now, how do some companies recover? Say, for example, Colonial, they completely shut down the network. So, do they have to change the complete
Yeah.
devices and all, or it's going to be on the software layer? I'm
Yeah,
curious
I
about the
mean
mitigation.
definitely. So they what they would do is they will implement the other kind of software. So they would do a case study, or they would check what are all the available next step of security, how to protect their network. They do analyze of which companies provide network security and select the best out of it. So that's the only way where they can recover from it, right? So they need to
Oh,
select what is best, what fits into their company's infrastructure, and implement and change the infrastructure according to it.
got it, got it. So you have to restructure everything in terms of networking.
Yes.
Got it, got it. Now, just tell me a brief idea about the domain itself. How do someone can get into? I'm talking about the career perspective now, not the technical part. If somebody
Yeah.
aspire to become a network security engineer or want to get into this field, what are the
Yeah.
fundamentals they should be aware of before getting into the field?
Sure. Everyone who is interested to get into network security, I would say they should have, and before learning anything, they should have a passion, or they should be eager or interested about networking. So when you take, they should know about the basics of TCP IP, how generally the networking works, right from OSI layers. They should have some deep dive understanding about various protocols, and also I mean whatever career you choose, you should be passionate and interested about it. Then only you can get into any domain, mate, and not only network security. Any domain, you should have that interest and passion in it.
Got it. So the answer is plain and simple: have the passion, and then you look for
And yeah, as I said, networking as well, basics of networking, TCP
yeah,
IP model, OSI.
OSI.
Then a firewall could be a added advantage. Knowing about like there are many firewalls like Palo Alto. If
Yeah.
they have, if they get into that, they would learn more about it.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of certification, I think it's good to have CCNA as a basic checkpoint, right, for networking.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, understood. Now, how did you get into networking? Like, did you got inspired by someone, or you found after you finished your studies, you understood networking is your area of interesting, or how does that work?
To be honest, I was not aware about networking, but after completing my higher studies, I got placed into one of the networking company. So that's where I started learning about networking. Then I got a project where I had to deal with wireless networking. So out of that, I created my own interest, and I thought that okay, networking is my passion, and I should go with it. That's how it started for me.
Nice. Just for the audience awareness, so Abhi has joined a networking company, and I was leaving that company, CSS Corp, at the same time. And but I was into home networking at that time. It's completely routers and switches of small office, home office in US. But I think you are dealing with enterprise network. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, good, right. So again, switching back to the enterprise security, I have a couple more questions on that. How a company should be prepared in terms of malware attacks or ransomware attack? How should we be ready for that attack?
I mean, nowadays, getting ready, more than getting ready, I would say nowadays there are a lot of technologies and development happened that they do have systems where they can detect even before someone attacking it. So there are certain companies or organizations where they developed. Uh, I mean, there are, say, for example, if I say there are many third-party companies like CrowdStrike, or there are a lot of companies, I would say, who do investigation basically on threats and send their data up to date. So there are many companies who deal with it. So whenever any attacks happen, your organization is enough to attack, knows that there is an attack going to happen, and it detects. So I mean, a lot of technological advancement has happened in recent days. So I don't think so that that is capable enough of detecting any ransomware attack or any other type of attacks.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of audit that companies does. Is it?
Yes.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. Now, in terms of troubleshooting skills, right? Where do you start looking at the things? Like, let's say you've got into an attack, or you understood there is a network vulnerability. Where do you start
Yeah.
looking at things?
Yeah, we do start looking at like we do first ask how many devices have been impacted, or how did you find out that there is an attack? What exactly has been affected, and
Okay.
how to stop with it? So that's how we start the troubleshooting. We ask the customer like how did you identify, or what is exactly happening. First, we need to classify what type of attack has been happened, how many devices has been affected. So that's how we start our troubleshooting.
Okay. So start from probing a lot of questions to
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. I mean, whenever we as a, yeah, so I mean, as we worked in support in previous, I mean, we need to have a lot of probing skills. First, we need to understand the scenario and then get into next plan of action or any other steps before we proceed. So that's important.
Understood. Understood. Now, there are a couple of terms, right? DDoS and DOS, man in the middle. What are the differences with these kind of terms, and how does it actually affect? Let's say, for example, which is the most threatening attack? Is it DDoS or man in the middle? Which one I'm very scared about?
Yeah, I mean, DDoS, I would say DDoS are like flooding your system with a lot of requests so that it becomes unresponsive. So when you say if there is any DNS server, and I mean, if, for example, say if there is any company which launches its offer or discount price or anything, in that case, if it would expect a lot of customers, right? So in
Yeah.
that case, if any attacker is with which is not of any use, in that case that would be a major loss for the company, financial as well and the reputation as well. So in that case, DDoS plays a major role, I would say. Whereas man in the middle attack is something where it's between two systems where the communication is getting interrupted, so that would not affect much than the DDoS attack. That's how I look. That's what is my perspective, I would say.
Okay. So DDoS is more concerning than the man in the middle, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Now, little non-technical question. Just looking at where is India in this field when you compare, because you work with a lot of customers and you see that where the companies are. Where do you think India is standing in terms of network security?
Yes, I would say India has we have lot of customers from India as well,
Yeah.
and when we say I mean we Indians we need to we have lot of questions when we purchase a product,
Yeah.
whatever the amount be, we have lot of questions, we do lot of investigations and then get a particular product. So I think India is mainly focusing on, I mean, even you would have not seen many news related to a network security threat, anything from India, right?
Yeah.
So you would have a guess like where we stand.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think we have our focus is good, and we maintain our right from taking from design or anything. Maybe we
Mm.
do a focus and we build a network structure and deploy all the necessary network security tools and devices required. So as far as I have heard, I mean, very less news related to any threats or attacks in India, I
Yeah.
would say, compared to other across the world.
I see. Yeah. I think that makes sense because I haven't heard any such attacks like Colonial Pipeline, as you said. And
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good thing about India. Now, fine. Coming to the
Yeah.
final question of the podcast, I would like to know the career path. Like once you choose network security, now
Yeah.
where do you see scope in future? Can you get into ethical hacking, or can you get into like a network architect role, or what are the path available for someone in the career?
Sure. When you take to network security, you have a solution architect, a senior solution architect, and a lot of other opportunities in networking. I mean, security design. You can even design the security for a organization. So that's what solution architect in networking, which comes under network security. I mean, yeah, my next step towards is also learning ethical hacking. So that's where I've currently parked my slot for and learn ethical hacking. So that's quite interesting as compared to network security. So yes, that can also be taken into account when you go towards security.
Oh, nice. So I think our next podcast will be on ethical hacking when we meet again. Yeah.
Sure.
So
Hopefully.
good dose. So I think we had a lot of interesting chat about network security. Especially, I am thrilled about the DNS attack, and I am definitely going to research more about it. And yeah, I think we had a great conversation. Let us know if you have any final words before we wind up.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was great talking to you and sharing a few words about network security. It was a great honor for me. And thank you for inviting. I think soon we'll meet for ethical hacking as well. Let's see.
Absolutely, Avi. Thank you so much, and thanks for sharing and enlightening us with network security knowledge today. And you have a good one.
Yeah, good one too. And stay safe.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
IT Hero Podcast Show.